Hello and welcome to Access Paranormal. My name's Jamie Williams. Joining me in the studio tonight, we've got my co-host Jonathan Sullivan.
Evening, Jamie.
And also Maurice Briggs.
Hello.
Hello. Now, we've only just started the show and we've already had bangs out in the main hall there, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have.
Just as we was about to record, that's what's just happened.
Yeah.
So not a bad start to the show, is it?
It's a good start.
Not bad at all. And the other thing is, as well, is we're doing a little bit of an experiment tonight.
Yeah.
And the experiment is we've got a CCTV camera down in the main hall.
Yeah.
Now this is one from our house, Marie.
It is.
We haven't put it up yet.
Yet.
We just thought we'd try it out down here. And to be honest with you, it's a fantastic. It's really high definition night vision, isn't it?
Yeah.
On it. So about our house, Marie.
Yes.
But no, we're trying that. I mean, if anything happens on the screen, we'll let you know anyway. We can't record it tonight because we're only doing a tester. So it'll be interesting to see what we get on it.
Mm-hmm.
And also on tonight's show, we've got Dark Territory.
Yeah.
And it's the third part of the show because we've had them on for the last 2 weeks. One was the interview. Last week was the Dark Territory special when we'd done a full investigation.
Yeah.
And it was that good, the investigation, we decided to overflow it to this show.
That's right.
And I think we've got about 20 minutes left of it, so we had to put it back on. And at this time, it's when we go back down into the cellar.
That's right, yeah.
But last time, just before we finished it, we were up in the classroom, what we all like.
That's right, yes.
Or don't like in Jonathan's case, you know.
Yeah.
And we had them footsteps,
Yes.
you know, little child. It was just like little running, and it sounded like they were running round.
Yeah.
And at first, Marie, you thought
I thought it was raining outside because it was pitter-patter sort of thing. I felt like it was that. But obviously, we looked out. There's not a splash of rain anywhere to be seen. There was nothing. No.
So it was unexplainable, really, what we heard. And then down in the cellar, last week, we had the footsteps up in that room.
Yeah.
Where we put the cat ball again tonight, which we're watching on the CTV.
Yeah.
And also...
So that's the room next to the kitchen, isn't it?
Next to the kitchen,
right.
In the main hall, yeah. As you come into the main hall from the main entrance, if you look straight down, it's the middle one.
It's the middle one,
room.
and that's when we was with Dark Territory as well.
Yeah.
Because when it was going off, we thought, was it us on the floorboards? They were jumping round, running round it and everything like that. Yeah. So we debunked all that anyhow in the last show.
And Sean Kennett and Carl Hassel, they actually walked around it and they stamped on the floor and checked everything. Mm-hmm. And it just wouldn't happen, would it?
No.
So it was a really good start to the show. Well, it was a really good part of the show, not start show.
So that was on last week's, wasn't it?
And then we had the it's not the K2, was it? It was the what are they called?
Oh, the REM pods.
The REM pods. Could I think of that then? Could I not think? The REM pods were going off, which was good. You hear them really loud.
Yes.
And then I had the cat ball next to me. I didn't even know it was next to me, and that went off.
You did.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was it Carl who was next to me on the right. We wear social just so people know we wear social distancing on the night, both in the interviews and both on the investigations.
Yeah.
We kept our social distancing. I just had to keep stretching my arm out with the recorder to try and record everybody. Was like stretching as much as I could. And Carl was standing there, and they were saying there's something near me. And when they were saying something near me, the cat ball went off.
The cat ball went off. Right,
so it was a really good. Last week's was great, and anybody who was listening to it, I'm hoping that you picked everything up as well or heard what we were hearing, which was that was great. And if you think about it, when we had them in for the interview, we had the voices over the headphones, but obviously we couldn't. They didn't get picked up on the recordings. And we found out why. Now, I called them condensed mics, but it wasn't. They're called dynamic mics.
Right.
So, like you explained last week, if you move away from the microphone, it's quite a distance away. So, if I'm talking quietly, you can't really hear me. And don't wish it upon me. So you have to have your mouth quite close to the microphone. And we think that's why we didn't pick up the voice and we didn't pick up the laughing.
Yeah.
So, it's really good.
So, that's what we thought then, doing this experiment. And putting the camera down and seeing what we can see down there. And then maybe next week or something we're going to put a microphone and that down.
Well, the funny thing is when we were here earlier on, I mean, me and Jonathan got here a bit earlier than yourself.
Yes.
And we set all this up, and we were sitting in here, and we were practicing and going through things and things like that. And I mean, like I said, it's difficult for me to turn and see the camera. I can see it when I turn.
Yeah.
But you're sitting opposite me, Jonathan, and you actually saw.
I saw the
light going off in the
the cat ball.
And
in the room.
We can't record it at the moment, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
And then when we were up here, me and you, we were doing a little bits of paperwork ready for the show, what we were going to talk about, and something I've got to mention later on near the end of the show.
Right, yeah.
And we were talking about all that, and Marie messaged to say she was here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I said to you, do you want to go down, Jonathan, laughing?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Well, we've got a cat ball in the hallway on top of a board, and that light started flashing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've tried to debunk that as well.
We had,
and it just will not go off at all unless you actually either tap the board that it's sitting on or tap the ball.
And so, and then obviously, then when Marie came in, we came upstairs and we were talking away, getting things ready again, and then we've got our headphones on so we can hear what we're recording.
Yeah.
And
I have one on and one off.
And you heard what we were talking about just right at the beginning of the show. You heard the bang.
Yeah, but it wasn't like like I said, like a wooden hard bang. It was more something like somewhat large but plastic bang.
Mm.
So when we go out in a bit, we'll check that. Because I've been out banging the doors and that, seeing will the cat balls go off, I should say, and that's not happened. So we'll have a look in a moment.
And
if we see anything out of place.
And the strangest thing is when me and John, before you came, me and Jonathan were down in the hall, like we said, setting the CCTV up, and I was looking at it, and there was a huge. I mean, I've never ever seen it before. The brightest of whitest of lights. Yeah. And it was I'd say it was about 2 to 3 foot wide.
Right.
And it was as tall as me.
Yeah.
And it was next to me.
Jamie, I would have loved to have been there seeing that.
I wished I'd recorded. It was next to me. And as I went to Jonathan, I went, Jonathan, look at this. And as I said it just shot upwards as if it disappeared up into the ceiling or the roof. And I went to Jonathan, I've never seen anything like that before. That was the brightest light. And it was next to me. It was as tall as me. Yeah. And it was right next to me. And it was only because I think I was doing something and I looked at the screen. And as I looked at the screen, there it was, right next to me. Yeah. And then it just went straight up.
Gone.
It was gone.
It's amazing what we see here, isn't it?
Oh, I'm still trying to think about it because it was that clear. Mm-hmm. I'm gutted we didn't record it. But the strange thing is, that happens a lot. We don't record things and we miss it.
We don't,
it's because we don't bring the cameras as much as we do in audio, do we?
No, and I think, this experiment now is great because what we're going to do in future is when we do the show is we'll set up one of this camera, but we'll put the memory card in. It's only because we've only just recently bought them for the house.
Yeah.
And we're not putting them up. We thought, well, let's try the night vision tonight, and this is why. Yeah. But I'm kicking myself why we should have put the card in, but hey-ho, we can't. But that to me was fantastic.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I've had a few things happen in the last night or so, haven't I? Last night or day.
You did.
In the night time, early hours of the morning, I could smell strongly cigarette smoke right next to me in bed.
We don't smoke whatsoever.
And no one smokes in the house.
But to wake you up.
But it woke me up. And I said to you in the morning, didn't I, Marie?
Yeah.
That was the strongest smell of cigarette smoke I've ever had. And it was right next to me bed. And it woke me up.
Yeah.
Then it just disappeared.
Wow.
And I went back to sleep again. And I was fine after that. And the funny thing is, as you know, and sadly my mum passed away.
Yeah.
And whether it's connected, I do not know.
No.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it was, because at least I've got that bit of comfort.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do miss my mum and I miss my dad as well,
Yeah.
But that night I was looking through the Facebook.
Yeah.
You was, and you come across the picture, didn't you?
Well, Yvonne Porter, who runs a page called The Hummingbird.
Yeah.
And Yvonne Porter, one of the loveliest people you could meet. I've met her. She came here years ago. And what happened is she put this picture up of like a hummingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the words to it
was the words of the song.
What a Wonderful World, which
yes.
we played at my dad's funeral.
Right.
And then, a little bit later on, I said, oh, we'll keep that picture because that means a lot to me, that.
Yeah.
Then later on, we put a film on.
Yeah.
And the movie, we watched the whole movie all the way through.
Yeah.
Right at the end, the song what come on was What a Wonderful World. So I had the cigarette smoke in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Then I've seen the picture of the hummingbird.
With the words printed
on it.
Yeah.
And then, I'd say an hour or so afterwards, the movie.
Yeah.
We had, What a Wonderful World on that. I mean, that to me was like, it's a nice comfort.
Yeah.
But being a paranormal investigator like yourselves, you do have to think about these things. You do have to. You have to digest it. Mm-hmm. It's nice. I mean, I'm going to keep that because I think I deserve to keep that.
Yeah. But the other thing was, like the week before, I was saying, if you can hear me, to your mum, show Jamie a sign to give him some comfort, and then that happened. So whether that was, it is comforting for you, and fingers crossed, that does comfort you.
Yeah.
And
it did.
Yes.
It really did. Definitely. And then the white light tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right next
that topped it all. That was fantastic.
That's it, isn't it?
Well, anyway, changing the subject now.
Go on.
We've got the Dark Territory Part 3 coming up in a second.
We have.
This time as we were just walking back down to the cellar, we started to record, and then, like I said before, we don't cut anything.
No,
we do it as it is. We cut the beginning because we're having a chat and a conversation and things like that.
Yeah.
But what we don't, we never cut anything. If we don't need to cut it, we won't cut it.
No.
What we hear, you hear, and that's how we like it.
That's it.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the third part of the Dark Territory special, and this is how it went. So we're going back down to the cellar now. Who's got the torch? Now, if we get footsteps and it's there, it'll be that room there. So it's above where we're going to be.
Right, yeah.
So who's got the torch?
Not me.
Oh.
Can you put that light on, I'll turn it off when you get down.
Which one? The one up here?
Behind the door.
Just behind that door there, Sean.
No.
Just a bang downstairs. Yeah.
Bang.
Just a bang, yeah, one bang.
I'll turn the light off once everyone's down.
So we're going back down to the cellar. So let's put the big light on for now. I've got light switch there.
I assume you might cut a bit of that last one up, because I just think,
Hey?
will you be cutting bits of
No,
that up?
it's going out, uncut.
Okay, cool.
Because that way, if anything happens,
Yeah.
it's proof that we're not cutting anything out, it's just the way it is.
So I'd have done like a recap for you. If you were going to cut it up, that was enough.
Yeah. No, we'll just have a quick talk before we finish and that. Do you want to set them up? Who's got the... do you want to put them at the far end, Jonathan? Do you know this is the way it was me who sent you up there? What do you want to do? Do you want to do the middle room, or do you want to do the where we are now, or?
I can stand in here if you want.
Someone's staying on, is it?
I'll tell you what, it's gone nippy.
Yeah. So we're now back down in the cellar. We're just setting up the bits and pieces.
People in this one.
You
going in the middle room?
Do you want to go in the middle room and then come back out here again? That's great, that. We're in there, and if that goes off, we're still in there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The seat's in here anyway. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Push your chair further back from the table.
There we go. It's right back now.
Do you want to see? There's one over here somewhere.
I'm alright, I'll stay.
Right.
Oh.
Sure. Do you want to see?
No, I'm alright, cheers, man.
It's all lights out, yeah.
Do you want all lights out or a bit? Oh no.
No, all lights out.
Yeah, lights out.
Yeah.
You don't see these lights on here.
Oh my god. Oh, gosh, it's a bit big.
It's freezing down here.
Oh my god, my light's not properly gone out yet.
You ready?
Right. Come on then, so we've come back down because we've heard a girl's voice down here multiple times earlier. Is your name Claire? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rem going off out there.
Oh.
Straight away.
Oh yeah, can hear it.
Okay, are you still down here? Right, it's the one down by the stairs this time.
Is it? Is that the same one as what was the other end, or did we just leave them down here before?
No.
Is the door closed?
They were left where they
No,
were.
it's just dark.
If you're by that REM pod now that's beeping, can you move away from it?
It's still on.
What's the light at the back?
This is my light still on. It's
No,
on.
at the back.
Where?
I don't know, just the back of the room.
Yeah.
Does it usually stay on like that, Sean?
Well,
Shine up there.
Oh well.
The back. Towards the back. Oh, there was 2 red lights.
Oh. That's it. I couldn't find where my torch part was.
Not in there, is there?
No, it's not there.
There was 2 red lights, but they were like
Sorry, I didn't mean
that
to
far
do that.
apart.
You alright, Sean? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just holding up, then it's out to your eyes, so it's got a bit of light in there.
That's weird, that.
It's funny how they go off and then they just stay continuously going. How happened to the other one up there?
Ask for the glass to move again and see does it move.
Yeah, we'll do in a minute.
I don't know what blue is on top of it. There's some of it.
It's like a plastic kind of diamondy kind of thing. It's been been there for a while now. So are you ready, Sean?
Yeah, okay. That's why we feel
If it goes off again, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
like I
is
say,
it?
it's new equipment. Trying it out, it could have
Have we brought
bit of
our
an
REM pods
error.
down? Is our REM pods down here or upstairs?
No, upstairs.
Not to worry.
Okay.
Okay, do you want lights out?
Yep.
Do you want to carry on calls?
Yeah. So Claire, we're going to call you that, but if that's not your name, I do apologise. Was that you that just made our device light up in the corridor outside? If so, can you do that again for us, please? Oh my god.
Straight away.
No way.
Thank you.
Come on, that's twice
That's
now
straight
on
and
command as soon
Yeah.
as.
Oh, straight on.
The strange thing is it's staying on, but the timing of it... Oh, it is losing its power a bit. It's not as strong.
Oh, you can hear it going away.
Okay, Claire, can you please move away from it now so it stops going off? No. Completely away from it, Claire, so it stops, please.
It's gone.
Is it still going?
Thank you.
I can hear.
Okay, I stop now.
Stopped.
Okay.
Claire, that's amazing. That shows us that you're here. But there's 2 of those in the corridor. If you can see them, can you move to the other one? She's deeper into the cellar. If you move to the other one, that will just show 100% that you're able to understand me. Or we have a teddy bear on the floor right in the middle in front of me. Again, that will alarm and let us know that you're around it. I just need you to go to one of the other 2 devices, please.
What was anybody moving? Did anybody see the light on the
Oh, what?
like going over the roof down the ceiling?
No, but that's happened a few times because Jonathan's had that.
Yeah. Like a big black ball. And I know it's black, but it went. I've just seen it going right over
Then
the
you just
roof.
moved, was it me? Look.
No, can't see
No.
nothing of you.
Okay.
I could see your face lit up. I actually ducked my head because I thought it was going up because it was so close. I actually ducked my head.
Come on, that REM pod's pretty interesting. How
It is.
Well,
It's
come
not,
on.
if it's not going off again now, is it?
No. But it was immediate as soon as I said, can you go to it?
Mm.
Dun dun dun. And then, it has faded out and stopped asking it to do that as well. It's pretty impressive, that.
That's what was on with the ball last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's wanting to interact with us.
Can we hear your voice again, please, Claire? We heard you really clear earlier. Again, if your name isn't Claire, we do apologise. That's just what we're going to refer to you as. Unless you can tell us your real name. Again, there's like an aircraft noise.
Yeah, I just hear it then. I just about hear it, but I can hear it.
Or it could be like a something on wheels, like a trolley or something going across the floorboards up top, like residual sound.
No.
I can just about hear it.
Yeah, it's very faint, isn't it?
It's not as loud as it was earlier.
But it's there.
If it is Claire, if you're still down here, am I right in thinking that your body was brought here during the war? Were you killed in a bomb attack? Was your body brought down here?
Was you a nurse?
Stopped already.
If there's someone here now, or up above us, can you walk around? Can you make a sound? Can you let us know you're here? You've got nothing to be afraid of. Sure, I can hear faint footsteps in the distance. It's that moment again, isn't it, where you know something's going to happen, but when? How are you feeling, Carl? Because you're quiet.
Oh, it's pretty tired, man. Just flagging.
And he's itchy.
Yeah, that was me like twitching.
Was it?
Yeah.
And there's anybody who wants to join us quickly before we end and before we go home?
Let's go into in the hall, in the corridor again. Because it seems calm in here, but it's out there in the hallway where it seems to, the action seems to happen, doesn't it?
Are you still out here?
It's got me.
Put the light on, we'll go into the hallway.
I've got to put the light on low, so.
Oh. Nothing's happening in here, is it? It just seems to be out there again. So we'll have another go out here. Just not like a piece like that, doesn't it?
One of them just beeped again there.
I heard the one bleep.
I don't know which one it was.
I think it was that one down there. And again, there it goes. Are you okay with us being out here with you? You don't mind us being here?
That's pretty nuts.
I know you're there. Are you all... Let me finish. Are you okay with... Funny how that one. Can you make this one go off here? If you can see me, I'm pointing to this light. Can you make this light go off now?
this one here. Strange, isn't
it? Is that a different one than that was going off before? Have we gone?
Well, the first time, it was the one down this side.
So it's not been swapped or anything.
No.
What's that?
Ball.
Oh, it's behind you, Jamie.
Whoa, okay. No, I'm not touched the table.
Not the table, no.
No.
Oh, and again.
Hello, thank you. Can you do that again? Show me you're here.
Are you liking the lights?
That was strange.
You're saying the lights got and the ball's going off and you're there looking for it, you didn't realise it stood behind you.
Can you make that light go off again for us? That's still going, isn't it?
Is there any children here that would like to have a look at the little bear on the floor?
We've had to transfer over to the phone because everything just went off at once.
Yeah.
We had the REM pod go off. We've had the cat balls go off where the lights flicker and it's all colourful. Yep.
Oh.
And we've only come into the main hall, into the cellar corridor, haven't we? And that's what's happened. So we thought we'd better flick over to the phone and record it on the phone for the last bit. Because even my recorder's gone off and that was on a really good recording bar, that was. So I've got to edit this across now.
So possibly battery draining phenomena just going on there.
Yep, so I'll ask Sean first. Sean Kennett, how have you felt about tonight?
There's been some really interesting moments, considering we haven't spent loads of time really in each area. For me, this definitely is the hot spot tonight where we're stood right now. That REM pod just really impressed me.
Yeah.
How it was so on command to the second, and then asking it to stop, it slowly started to fade down and stop. That was really impressive. And like I said, the voices earlier as well were really crisp. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And Carl?
I think that's been the highlight for me tonight, is hearing the woman's voice and 2 shouts as well multiple times. Definitely. And there was a bit of an eerie vibe as well when it did go really cold at one point. It was like the energies just built up and then it was just like, I was hearing the voice and it just kind of calmed down and it's like builds back up again. It's interesting. But like Sean said, we've not obviously spent a considerable amount of time in different areas, but we have captured quite a bit. Come to think about it,
I think you said a good point, Carl. I think spirit boxes, just because of the loud noise of it, you didn't have it that loud, but it's a constant noise. I think they act as a beacon because it's that sound vibration spreading out. It's a honing beacon for spirits to come to find where you are. That's what I think. It does seem to build up the energy around you when you use them.
Well, if you think about it anyway, if we listen for sounds, we always try and, like you said, we're homing in on them, trying to work out where they are. Surely they're doing the same thing. We're making the sounds. So where's that coming from?
Exactly. We assume that they can see, but perhaps they haven't got sight in their form.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I thought that.
And Sean, how have you felt about tonight?
I'm surprised actually. We came here last back end of summer, and it was very active. And you never, for us, if you go back to a place, it's either sort of active, quiet. But tonight it's been really active. So you've got a very active place here. So I'm eager to come back and do a proper full-on sort of 2-day, 3-day investigation here.
You're more than welcome to do that.
It's been brilliant. So, fantastic.
Will you sleep here?
Actually, do you know what? I think we would.
That was the original plans, I think, wasn't it? It was actually going to get the beds down here, weren't we?
Yeah, before we came the first time.
We can arrange that if you want to.
The settees that are comfy upstairs, and I can vouch for that.
Well, what we'll do,
wait till summer though, definitely.
If you do that, we'll come here and we'll interview you in between what you're doing. Obviously, we won't disturb you.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But we'll
and
do
we'll just leave you on your own then after that.
Unless you allow us to bring a microphone down here, and we'll stay upstairs and we can dip in and out and record you. That'd be good, isn't it? Yeah, Marie. How have you thought about tonight?
Good. I was hoping to see some the shadows that we've seen before. I've seen the big shadow light moving earlier, but then I've not seen it again, so you wonder then if it's your eyes or not. So, and the sounds and everything, what everybody said is great. I always want more though.
We always want more.
I always want more.
Yeah. Oh, it's guaranteed, isn't it, Jonathan?
No, it's been good again, as it has been the last few weeks or few months. Really active. The voices, the bangs, and affecting the equipment. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, it's definitely affected it tonight because, I mean, everything's gone off, hasn't it? Well, we've recording's gone off.
Yeah.
And we've had to transfer over to the phone. That's why there's different sound things. The highlights, obviously the whole lot's been, my highlights is having Dark Territory here anyway. But also, when we were up in the top classroom just then, we heard the footsteps.
Yes.
But it sounded like a child. And for, wherever we've gone in the building tonight, we've had some kind of activity. From when we were interviewing you earlier on, we had the voices come through. We had what we thought was laughing. And then when we came down here, we've had lots of things happening down here. Then we went up into the hallway. We had the lights going off, and both Carl and Sean were walking around, moving, bouncing on the floor, and that light didn't go off at all. Then we come back. We went to that classroom. Obviously, we talked about the footsteps before. We come back down here now. We've only been down here 20 minutes or so. Yeah. We've had the REM pod go off that side. We've had, like I said, then the batteries have gone on the recorder. The coloured ball thing, which is right next to me, went off. We've had sounds what we can't explain. So basically, we've had an absolutely cracking night for the last hour or two.
Yeah.
So would you definitely come back again then?
Yeah, 100%.
It's not a place where you think, like you said, Sean. Then you go back to place and it's a disappointment the second time you go.
Yeah.
But here, we've done it loads of times, as you know, and it's never disappointed us. We've had quiet nights, but we've always had. The last few weeks when we've been down here, I keep looking at that REM pod there. The last few weeks we've been here, we've had so much happening. And last time we interviewed Sean Kenner, I can't remember when it was. I was on my own in the room, and ever since then I've never come back here on my own. I've always had
I remember
Jonathan.
the recording of that.
Yeah.
I've never heard you so scared.
No, nor have I. And I don't want to be that scared again. But you've got to say, Sean, that night we were doing that interview, it started off quite nicely, didn't it? We were just chatting away in the next minute. I can't remember the first thing that happened, but I nearly dropped my lunch and I said, George, stop, something's happening in here. Yeah. And then from then, I'd say for about half an hour, maybe more, I just had one thing after another. Then we started the interview, and it was quiet, wasn't it? Then all of a sudden, it happened again. And the worst one, I think, frightened me was there's like camouflage on the window, and it just swayed as if someone was walking past it. And once I'd finished the show with Sean, once I'd finished interviewing Sean, I just switched everything off, and I put it onto my computer, onto my phone, bang, straight home.
I knew when he got home, oh my god, I pooped myself then. When he played it back.
I was going, and Sean was saying, no, keep going. I was going, I really wanted to come home and record it. He wouldn't let me.
Sorry, Jamie.
But
fair play to you, you did well.
Yeah, well, I had to, didn't I? But we put it out there and it was uncut and it went out really well and we got some good responses for that, so thanks to the listeners. So Sean Kennett, Carl Hassel and Sean Owen. I'm not doing too bad now. So we'll say Dark Territory and Dark Arts. Go onto YouTube and get onto their go and subscribe and watch everything they've got. It's fantastic. So thank you the three of you for coming tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers very much.
Well, that was the final part of the Dark Territory special, and what a great night we had with them. That was absolutely fantastic. And if anybody wants to watch the Dark Territory stuff, just go onto YouTube and look in for Dark Territory TV. And also you've got Carl Hassel's, which is Dark Arts. Go along, go and watch their videos. They've got some great ones there, and also be prepared because season 2's coming up soon, and they will be a really good catch up with them as well, won't it?
Yeah, it will be.
It'll be really good to get them to see that second part because we've seen all the others.
We have. Yeah.
Been really good.
The brilliant.
Really, really good. Yes.
You've got to say though, how professional are they?
They really are.
And
They really are.
They're just brilliant how they do it all, aren't they? How they put it together.
What about the equipment they've got?
Oh, the amount of stuff.
God, I
that they
couldn't
had.
believe what was on the table when I came up. I thought, what?
I know.
But good luck to them.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
I think I want to see them succeed. I want to see them go further because they're brilliant.
Yeah.
The professionalism.
And they're so good to get on with, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're really good personalities with them all.
Really lovely people.
Mm-hmm.
They're a bit cruel on Carl. Not Carl. Well, they were cruel on Carl. At the oh my word!
Was it the tunnels where he locked him up?
No, the ancient ramming.
The ancient.
No,
oh, right.
they done Carl in the ancient ramming, didn't he? And then he done Sean. Sean Owen in that cell, because we were watching it, weren't we, in that cave when they handcuffed him to the thing.
They handcuffed him to that rail, and that was. I mean, you could feel the terror in the room when you were watching it. You felt for him, didn't you?
Felt for him. I really pitied him
brilliant.
that night.
You've got to watch that.
It is, and it's one of those. I mean, I'm going to watch it again because they're so good. They're well worth watching. Dark Territory TV.
Just don't be getting any ideas for us.
Jonathan,
can you go there?
No, Jonathan.
I'm not going anywhere with them handcuffs, Jamie. I've just not seen anything more.
Say no more.
I just really put my foot into something then when I thought about that.
No, it's actually going back to Dark Territory. It's Carl, not Carl. Oh my word! How many times do I have to get his name wrong? Sean Kenner's turn, isn't it, to do his lone vigil? So Sean, Owen, Carl Hassel. Remember, it's Sean Kenner's turn to be on their own. So if you're listening, remember that, and please give us a little weird name drop on the show saying this is Jamie's idea. Yeah, Jamie's of Access Paranormal Radio podcast, and then it'd be great if you did. Just a little bit of a hint there, Sean Kenner. No, seriously. Anybody who wants to watch them, please go to YouTube and watch them. That's Dark Territory TV and Dark Arts as well. We've got to mention it for Carl, haven't we?
Yeah. And talking of YouTube, there's still things going on with our YouTube in the background.
There is.
All coming together. There'll be more shows coming out soon.
There will be, yeah. We're trying to keep up with everything, aren't we? We've got that many. I mean, this is the 30th show.
I know.
30
and how many
shows.
have we got now on YouTube? Is it 8?
8.
Oh, we put 8 up so far.
We've got 8 on
well done, Jonathan, there.
I know. What do you mean, well done, Jonathan?
Well, Jonathan, put them on.
Well done,
Jamie.
It took me 6 months to get him to do it.
Jamie, be quiet.
Well done, Jonathan.
Well done, Jamie, for getting it all prepared. There we are.
Well
done, Jamie.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank myself. But you know what? It's great. I mean, the YouTube's up now, and people are starting to link into it now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
We need more subscribers, so come on, keep not subscribing, isn't it? Subscribe. Oh my word!
And tell your friends to subscribe.
And how can they find it?
On YouTube under Access Paranormal Radio Podcast.
Yes.
And you done that without even looking at the poster. I mean, we've got posters around the room now, so we remember what they are.
I've got one in front of me.
But remember when we asked Alexa to get it on, all we have to say though to her is Access Northwest, don't we?
Yeah. Alexa play Access
Northwest. Because we can't find it otherwise with adding anything else on.
Well, so they need to go to the radio station, don't they?
The radios, yeah.
Either on Alexa.
Yes.
Or on the internet itself.
Yes.
Or you can get the app on your phone as well.
That's right, yes.
That's right.
And then you can get the show.
Yeah.
But it's just Access Northwest.
So you've got Access Northwest.
Yes.
And you've also got L35 radio.
That's right, yeah.
But L35, you've got to go on the internet for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's www.l35.co.uk. I'm sure it's that. That's off my head, that, Jonathan. Not bad, is it?
You've done well there.
I know, but all you have to do anyway is put L35 radio in, and
still had your dementia tablets this week.
I can't remember taking them.
No.
Yeah. And Instagram's doing really well.
Brilliant.
We've got nearly 600 subscribers on there.
Yeah, so come on, follow us. Get a likes up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody's got any questions, please, doesn't matter how you contact us.
Yeah.
On Instagram or messages through Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah, Access Paranormal Radio Podcast. I forgot it. Access Paranormal Radio Podcast. Please send us some messages. If you want to come on the show, if you want to be interviewed, great. But we're booked up now to the end of March, aren't we, for interviews?
Near the end of April, we are.
Near the end of April. Gosh. So please get in there, give us a message, and we're more than happy to interview you. We'd love to interview you.
Yeah, we have got a few small slots coming up.
We have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how small, Jonathan?
About that big.
Yeah. About that long.
Yeah. No, if you want to, please get in touch, and we'll have you on the show. We're more than happy to do that. But yeah, it's going great. The show's going really good. We could call ourselves international now.
We could, couldn't we?
We're getting out there.
We are. We're in America, Australia,
it's just brilliant.
England.
Yeah, some brilliant groups and teams over there in Australia and America, haven't we?
What's really nice though, and what I'm looking forward to, is seeing paranormal groups going back out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's going to be amazing once we all get out there, because we're the passion to get out there and the frustration not being able to.
Everyone's just itching to go.
Everybody's
it's been
saying
really
the
difficult.
Same.
Yeah, and what's nice now is I'm starting to get the messages through for people wanting to book here in Mill Street Barracks.
That's
when you're opening. Yeah. Can I just say now that we're still waiting on the go ahead to let groups in. Watch this space as normal. You just message me, and what I'll do is I'll message you back once we're here. So it'd be great to get the groups back in here again to bring this. The building, any building across the country who does paranormal investigations. Yes. Let's bring them back again. Let's get back to normal, and let's see the groups going out there. Because I used to love going on Facebook and reading what paranormal groups are doing.
It is, and where they've been, and where we can get going and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody's wants us to come once lockdown's over, and you want us to come round and join you, we'd be so happy.
Give us a shout.
To do that. We can interview you along the way.
Yeah, we'd love to do a live recording. Yeah, it'd be great to get the groups and to go along and record them and interview them and do like a special on a paranormal group.
Definitely.
I think the first one's going to be us though, Ghost Quest Liverpool, isn't it?
It's
got to be.
It's got to be. We can't wait to get the group back
I do apologise.
We've missed everyone.
And I do apologise to everybody out there. I've got to be a little bit biased on that one, but we want other groups in there. But I can't wait to see our group. Let's talk a couple of minutes about our group, because I mean, even though we've been in lockdown and it's been very, very difficult, we're a very close group. We're a close team. Can't remember the names, mind you.
We won't know the faces by the time we come back.
Well, we better mention what's her name? Nah, I'm kidding. Michelle. We got a Michelle Cook. We got to mention Jane Basnett, Liz Warr, Lee Arnold, Leanne Arnold.
That's right.
And yourself, Jonathan Sullivan. And that girl over there, Maurice Briggs.
What about yourself?
And Sir Jamie Williams, MBEOB. DOPE. And John Dagger. John Dagger. Yeah. And I can't think of. I am so sorry if anybody else missed out. I don't mean to.
Friends to the group and things like that.
Yeah. Debbie Kendrick.
And James.
James Seddon. Yeah. Can't wait to see them all again. It's going to be fantastic to actually get back out there with the team. Can't wait. Yeah. Ghost Quest Paranormal Liverpool, and we do investigations, don't we, for charity?
Yeah,
so
we do.
Just get onto our page, Ghost Quest Liverpool on Facebook. And once we start get going and we can start fundraising again, you can come and join us on investigations.
Well, talking about Mill Street and going back here, if you take a look at Take a Break, Fate and Fortune, we're actually in this month's the Mill Street, aren't we?
Yeah,
so
the April edition.
It's the April edition, and it's called Take a Break, Fate and Fortune. And have a look in that.
There's a 2-page article, isn't there, all about Mill Street Barracks?
There is. So something else to have a look at if you want to view that.
Yeah, like that's a nice little.
It's like a paranormal magazine.
It is.
It's
psychics.
So it's not the usual Take the Break.
No,
it's
it's
the
not
Fate
the usual
and Fortune
copy that you can pick up.
Yeah,
it's actually a special edition.
It is. I thought you said sidekicks and psychics. Not only can I not remember anything, I'm going deaf. But no, it's great, you know.
Bit going on.
Going?
Yeah.
Oh, has he gone deaf?
Pardon? No, and coming up in a minute, Jonathan, we've got another interview, haven't we? This one's an hour-long one with two ladies.
Yeah.
And they're over in America.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about it, Jonathan, because you organised this interview.
Yeah, no, that's right. Met these on two girls on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking to them for a couple of weeks. One lives in Chicago, one lives in Michigan. Absolutely lovely girls.
Jill and Jennifer.
Mm. Common Mystics, they're called.
Right.
Common Mystics.
Common Mystics.
Brilliant.
Yeah, not like us. We're common as muck.
Yeah.
So Common Mystics.
Yeah, Common Mystics.
We met them last week. We interviewed them last week.
Yeah, we interviewed them last week, yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Jonathan, I missed it.
Oh, Marie.
Damn.
Well, you'll have to have a listen to this because they're so nice.
They're so
Sunday.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday evening.
Also, they've got their own podcast, haven't they? And I've been listening to them, you know, Common Mystics.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Really
so,
good.
you know, when you're not listening to us, go and tune in to Common Mystics because the way they do the interviews are great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
really
because
set out well.
It's good at how people are different doing the different ways they do it.
Oh, yeah, you learn.
Yeah.
But it was like us interviewing them and them interviewing us.
That's right, because they turned it round on us, didn't he?
What's it?
So, So, Jill and Jennifer, if you want to interview us, feel free to do so. Give us a call and we'll come on your show. Payback. And we'll interview you on your show. No, they were brilliant.
No, it was good, really,
and
really
and
good.
it was Jill's birthday as well.
Yeah.
And she came on the show.
She came on the show. She took time out to come on the show.
That's some passion there, isn't there, for what they're doing?
Yeah, but don't forget, they're in America. They're hours behind us.
Yes.
So it was nice and dark and cold and freezing here. Yeah, and they were quite happy there, weren't they?
Mid-afternoon.
Yeah, in the sun.
Yeah, we don't mention the sun.
It's one of them places, isn't it, when they say we're in the sun and if we have to wrap up, we just put our flip-flops on with a pair of ankle socks.
I know.
That's their wrapping up.
Yeah, when we wrap up, it's like a jumper, thermal, 2 coats, a woolly hat. 2 pairs of socks.
It's like when they go out for a drive, isn't it?
I know,
Go and do the little investigations.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how
far do you go?
It was only 5 hours down the road.
Yeah, that's
5 hours.
I knew someone who said that they were in Canada and they said when they have to go for a pizza, it's a ride of 22 miles to go because it's just, and that's nothing to them.
It doesn't mean anything to them.
Nothing at all.
I know.
Their roads aren't like ours, though, are they?
But they're so cheerful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were very, very lively.
Upbeat.
And they worked well together. The way they talked together was superb.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's what I liked about them. They bounced off each other. Like me and you bounced off each other. Yeah. But that's because we're fast.
But that's literally how it is.
Right, anyway, on that note, let's go over to Jessica and Jill. And it's not Jessica, is it? It's not why did I say Jessica? That just came.
That's your other name, Jamie.
Anyway,
the wheat one.
Let's go over to Jennifer and Jill, and this is their interview from last week.
Let's say a hi to Jennifer and Jill from the Common Mystics, all the way from Michigan.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Jill.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. Yeah, we're so excited to talk with you.
Thanks for coming on the show. We're looking forward to hearing your stories. Could you tell us a bit about how you started?
Well, we grew up, we're sisters, right? Mm-hmm. And we grew up in a household raised by our single mother. And she was very much into the paranormal. Yeah. She herself did astrological charts. And this was before the days when you could plug someone's birthday and time of birth into a program. She would actually sit down and look through books and do the charts by hand, and then use her intuition and psychic abilities to make predictions and to tell people about their lives and things to come. Wow. So we had that experience growing up with our mother, but also our grandmother was a medium who always talked to dead people. Mm-hmm. Our aunt did tarot readings, and we always had psychics coming to the house. You know, they were friends of the family. So we really grew up immersed in this sort of paranormal world. Wouldn't you say, Jill?
Absolutely. And so much so that because being surrounded by people that were so good at what they did, when I was having experiences, I didn't compare what I was experiencing with them because it felt so like they were masters at what they were doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, have you? Sorry, are you sisters?
Yes.
Right, because Jonathan didn't tell me that part. That's what threw me. I was going, hold on a moment. I'm going to kill him once this show's finished. You know that, because he didn't tell me that part. And I'm sitting there thinking, sisters. So when you grew up together, so you've been like together for the paranormal right from the word go, really, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So how did you I'm going to say, when did you start your actual? Are you a group or is it just the two of you? And how did it all start all together?
Well, let's first say this is Jennifer talking, and I am 7 years older than Jill. Okay, so my experience was a little different. I was the oldest of us girls, and we have two other siblings as well.
And I'm the youngest.
And Jill is the youngest. So that dynamic comes through.
Yeah.
But so being the oldest, it was a much different experience. But I will say that Jill was different from a very young age. No, seriously. You just want me to keep saying
it. Go on. Tell them all about me.
Seriously though, when Jill was a baby, she would play by herself, and she always had imaginary friends. But if you asked Jill about her imaginary friends, she always had so much detail about their characters and the things that they did, and like it's just such elaborate backstories that we were all kind of like, this one's different.
Do you remember their names?
Timmy, Lady, and Alex.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So Jill was always different.
I had a crush on Timmy.
Oh. So looking back now, Jill, would you say that they were probably paranormal, like ghosts or spirits or angels?
I know that they were real. They were definitely real to me. But it's so weird thinking in hindsight because we never categorized what it was that we were doing when I was growing up. We weren't like...
Right. We never named it.
Never.
Grandma wasn't a psychic medium. Grandma just talked to dead people.
Exactly.
Right? So we didn't put labels on things.
It was just normal.
Yeah. But you were really unusual in that you had these imaginary friends and you were always you always had your head in that place.
It's true.
Whereas being the oldest and, Mom was a single parent, I had a lot of responsibilities. So for me, I didn't start using my psychic senses until much later in life. I was in my 20s before I started actually accepting the fact that I was having psychic experiences. Mm-hmm. But what about you? It was much younger for you.
It was, well, again, I think I was having experiences, but we didn't call it anything. And it wasn't until I had... I would do readings for my friends all the time. So my friends would call me and be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Or I would read strangers just randomly. Or I had experiences where people would just pop in my head like vividly, but I never knew that that's what mediumship was or that's what being psychic was. It was just something that was a part of my experience. And it wasn't until I met Kim Russo with Jennifer at a casino in Detroit that she named it. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. And so from then on, I was able to be really intentional, thank you, about how to use those gifts and to how to hone them. Mm-hmm. And a year later, our mother died. So immediately when Mom died, I was already experiencing having conversations with her after she had passed.
Right. And can I just ask, I'm not sure whether it was Jill or Jennifer who had the imaginary friend. Was it Jill?
Yes, that's me. I'm Jill.
So Jill, a couple of weeks ago, we were actually talking about this, about imaginary friends and children and that. Now, you said you could actually see them. Now, was that your imagination that you could see them, or could you actually see the person you're imagining? If you understand what I mean, it sounds a bit silly. Was it a ghost? Was it just an imaginary friend? Because we were saying, when you've got an imaginary friend, can you see that person, or is it just in your head? If you understand.
So what was interesting about my imaginary friends is that I never saw them. I always just knew that they were there. So I was communicating with them, but I never seen them physically. When I say that I saw things like people coming to me, it was always in my head. It was always in my mind's eye. So nice. A good example of that is my grandma and I went to Resurrection Cemetery in Chicago to clean off our family's graves. Mm-hmm. It's something that we do as a family. We go to the cemetery, take care of the graves. Well, Resurrection's a huge cemetery, and to find our family graves, we always look for this one woman named Yolanda, who's buried closer to the road. So if you find Yolanda, who we don't know, but you can get to our family's graves from there. So one day when my grandma and I were cleaning off our graves, on the way back to the car, I stopped and I said, Grandma, can I clean off Yolanda's grave? Because it looked like no one's been there. And she said, baby, you can't just clean off random people's graves. And I was like, but it's Yolanda. And so as I was cleaning off her grave, a picture of her came into my head, clear as day. I seen her in our living room, and I saw that she was an older Eastern European woman, and I knew that was her. And that was the first time that I had seen someone in my mind's eyes that way.
Right.
And I think I was about 17 maybe at the time.
Wow, brilliant. And can I ask, who's Kim Russo?
Oh, Kim Russo. Kim Russo is an American psychic medium. She was the host of Celebrity Ghost Stories.
And A Haunting Of.
And A Haunting Of. And we would watch her on TV, and we just loved her on TV. And she happened to be in Detroit, Michigan, and Jill lives, a few hours from Detroit. So we had to go see her, and she actually picked us out of the auditorium and gave us a reading. It was surreal. Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Wow.
I think I've heard of her because we watch a lot of paranormal stuff. Once you said what she was on, then thought, I know the programs.
Yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to watch him more now because you've said that. Because now I've got to be. It's curiosity killed the cat, as they say. Now, can I just
tell us if you like her because we love her.
We promise you we will.
We will do.
Yeah. Because the funniest thing is with me and Jonathan is we do a lot of watching of the paranormal stuff because obviously we would talk about it on the radio show, so we have a little bit of a dip into YouTube a lot. We've got I don't know whether you've heard of them as Mindseed TV, which is really really good if you haven't had the chance to see that. And a good friend of ours, Dark Territory, isn't it?
Yeah. Dark Territory. Yeah.
Actually, once we've done this interview tonight with you, because the show's pre-recorded. Before your interview is the rest of the show we've done with Dark Territory, so you'll be able to listen and see what we're talking about there. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Talking about a radio show. Yeah. Well, we've got to ask you: do you go out a lot of paranormal investigating yourselves to get together?
Yes and no. What Jill and I do is something that we've been doing for about 10 years together. Mm-hmm. And it was really
just fun for us.
Yeah, just born out of boredom. Like, what are we going to do when we get together? Mm-hmm. And we just started to get in the car and drive and see where we end up, a place where neither one of us is familiar with the area. And then we would use our psychic impressions and validate each other. And it was just a way to practice that psychic sense.
Right.
So we started doing that together 10 years ago, and it wasn't until just last year we started creating our podcast about it. But we don't do it at night.
I want to, but she's such a chicken.
You don't do investigations of a nighttime.
No,
she won't let me. We're afraid of ghosts.
Okay.
Honestly, that's the funny part. We're really afraid of ghosts.
Oh my word, Jonathan! This has got to be the very first time we've had two people on who don't do investigations of a nighttime.
I know, just of a day.
I know.
We would go with you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
In a rosary, in holy water.
I mean, when you come over, you'll meet our group as well. We've had a group for over 10 years now. If you look for us, it's called Ghost Quest Liverpool. And we go everywhere. Sadly, as you know, lockdown has caused us a lot of issues. We've not been able to go anywhere at all, much at all, anywhere around.
Yeah.
I do think that there is a difference communicating with a spirit that's passed over as a psychic medium and seeing a ghost. Like, to me, that's two different experiences and maybe different skills. What do you think, Jill?
I've always wanted to experience ghosts, like visually, like using like my outside of my mind's eye, and it's something I've asked for, and it's happened at random moments, but it scares me so, like, I cannot sleep afterwards, and every light in my house is on. And the reason why I think is because ghosts are unpredictable. Like, usually when someone has crossed over, they know how to communicate with us. Ghosts seem to be desperate, and they seem to be like really aggressive and trying to get my attention. So it spooks me out. It really does.
Right. So. Okay. So, I mean, what sorts of places do you actually go to?
Great question. Well, I live in Illinois, outside of Chicago, and Jill lives in the Battle Creek area. Yeah. So really, out of convenience, we've been exploring the Midwest United States, just because that's where we live.
Yeah.
We love a good old cemetery.
Yeah. Well, what we do, we actually never know where we're going to end up when we start a journey together. We literally get in the car, and sometimes we drive for hours, and we just use our psychic impressions to find a story. But before we start, tell them about our intention.
So as soon as we get in the car, it's usually me driving, because I really enjoy driving, and I usually know where I am all the time. So I use Jennifer as the navigator. She tells me where to go based on the impression she has in her head. And as we're going around, and once we get into an unfamiliar area, I'll start tapping into that too. And we get signs along the way that we're going in the right place.
But before we start, we always ask Spirit to lead us to a story with the intent of giving voice to the voiceless. So we want to find a story, but we really want to find a story that gives a spirit a voice.
Yeah.
And so we really want to do service to maybe a spirit who, maybe there was some mystery surrounding a death, or
sometimes there's like these great legends in small communities where like someone's like, this man killed his family. Even that, by way of doing these stories on a grander scale, we can dispel some of that behind some of the figures in history that just have been done wrong by just like gossip and like lore at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've.
Sorry, it sounds a bit like Randonautica. Have you heard of Randonautica?
That app.
Yeah.
Epic. Yes. Oh. Yes. Yeah. We've never. One of our friends just sent us that app. We never heard of it before. Yeah. But yeah.
If you do try it, don't go on your own. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen them on. If you go onto YouTube, it can be quite dangerous. Just don't do it alone, or make sure there's a few of you. That's just our advice, because it's you don't know where you're going to be sent or what's going to happen. We mentioned earlier on to both of you about Mindseed TV. If you find Mind CTV on YouTube, or another one called Dark Arts, they do random Nautica, and if you go and watch them, it'll make you think about it, seriously think about it, because the things they've found and the problems they've hit, it's quite dangerous, really. If you know, if
it's quite scary.
So if any of your fans do ask you to go and do it, feel free to do it, but make sure there's 4 or 5 of you and not just the 2 of you. Just really be safe on that one.
Well, I think you just talked me right out of that. We won't be trying that.
Well, we wouldn't like to, we wouldn't like you to get into any kind of danger or anything like that, because it's not what it's about. It's about fun.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we want you on here again, don't forget.
Yeah.
So when you go on your investigations and you find these places that you've never been to before, do you pick up on the spirits that are there, or are they telling you to? Are they like guiding you to them?
That's a great question. I think both, to be honest. What do you think, Jen?
Usually, to be 100% honest with you, we are bumbling around for hours. It's
Sounds
really
like
what's happening.
Hello.
We don't know why we're getting the impressions that we're getting. It never makes any sense.
Right. And we don't cheat. So we don't Google or anything. Like, phones are off limits. We're just getting our psychic impressions, and we know nothing about where we're going or what the information's supposed to mean.
Right. So really it means nothing. And it's often really frustrating because we have no idea why we're there, and we have no idea what to make of impressions. So I might be seeing something in my head, like a picture.
Purple petunias is a great one.
Right. Or hearing some words.
And there's no context. So it's almost like, when you have the experience, like, something, but you forgot it, like the name of a song or a lyric or something. You're like, I know. That's how it feels. It's like, I know something's here, but we don't know what it is.
But we don't know what it is. And we never know what it is until afterwards when we do the research. And that's where we try to put the pieces together to figure out who is talking to us and why. But it's not until after we're home and we're then doing the research.
And that's really surprising. I think the research is my favorite part because it brings it all together. And you're like, oh, that's why we were getting this.
Right.
Yeah. So a bit like cryptic clues while you're actually out, and then you
exactly
put them all together when you do the research.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So when you are out and you're being guided to a certain place, do you both pick up on the same spirits or feelings?
Often not.
Yeah, that's really funny. That's a great question.
That is a great question. But no, we don't pick up on the same things. No.
It's the same story, but it's from different perspectives.
Can we think of an example to
Rome City? What
do you remember from Rome City?
So when we went to Rome City, Indiana, it was a site of this huge monster of a building, and I just felt like I was watching a horror movie. You were scared but like really excited about it. It felt like there was something foreboding in this place.
Yeah.
What you were picking up on?
I was picking up on. I was actually channeling the nun who lived there at the time, who had been attacked by an evil spirit.
That we didn't know.
We didn't know that. But at the time, I was standing on the grounds, looking at this building and feeling like I wanted to turn around and run away. I wanted to run right into the field. And Jill is like trying to get into this building.
Yeah.
She's knocking on the doors and trying to get in and walking around, going down the cellar. Don't tell.
On their own, because you'd run away.
And I didn't want to come close to it. I was, really afraid to be anywhere near it. So that's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, do you know what?
Devil's Lake.
Jonathan is very good as leave me on my own sometimes. Like we were saying, we're in Mill Street Barracks, and what we do is we do like a little mini invest. We'll go down into the cellar, or we'll go somewhere else, And one night we were walking down into the cellar, and I was recording it and saying, well, what's happening now is me and Jonathan going into the cellar. We're going to do an investigation and blah, blah. And I turned around, and he was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, my gosh.
He'd gone all the way down on his own until he realised.
Yeah. And then you hear me go, John, where are you? So, yeah, you sound like the female version of us two.
It's nice that you can laugh about it now, because I would still be mad at her if she did that to me.
No, we find it really funny. We do play a lot of tricks on each other. We take it serious. We do take the investigation serious.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of banter as well. Like I said earlier on, we have our own group. And we're like a family, aren't we? We all get on so well and everything else. We get together and we do our investigations. I think there's about 10 or 11 of us, isn't there?
Yeah.
We get together and we've known each other that long. We trust each other impeccably, not impeccably.
Yeah.
I nearly got that right anyway. And it's lovely to get them. It's going to be great to get them back again. But we all play tricks on each other. But once we get into the investigation, if anything happens, our funny side changes and we go into the serious side and we take it serious then, But in between, we do have a lot of banter. And I think sometimes, I don't know about yourselves, but sometimes that kind of stuff gets the atmosphere up and it can bring the spirits forward, to realise that you're not going to be there, you're not ogres, you're there to... sorry, my voice is just going. I'm not being possessed, Jonathan.
No, not yet. Not yet.
It's because I've drank all my water. But,
no, it gets the energies up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets the energies up superbly.
For the spirits. More things seem to happen.
At all?
Sorry?
Are you too intuitive at all? Do you get impressions or feelings about a place as you're investigating?
You answer first, Jonathan, then I'll answer after that. We're being interviewed here.
You do get... you can feel the atmosphere when you walk into a place, I think.
Especially here.
We've been here that many times on investigations and doing the radio show. You kind of get a feeling as soon as you walk through that door of what it's going to be like. Whether it's going to be active or it's not going to be. I don't know, you can just sense it. There'll be some nights when we come and nothing happens at all.
No, we can be
some
quite
nights
relaxed.
and you can walk in and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and we were saying before that it's difficult for us to get out and about at the moment. So we're in here and it's just me and Jonathan because, the building is hired out for paranormal groups to come and investigate. But because obviously we haven't had anybody in for almost a year now, it's weird because the atmosphere has changed, hasn't it? When we come into the building, we've had so many things happening to us. A lot of stuff we do debunk, but we've had things happen to us that we can't explain. And when we're in the studio now, if we're interviewing you, like we were actually being interviewed last night, and things were happening. It's like you made me jump then. I didn't expect you to go and like we were interviewing a group called Dark Territory. I mentioned earlier on, and as we were interviewing them, right through our headphones, as clear as anything, was a hello.
Yeah,
and it was as clear as us talking to you now. And Sean, who was one of them, he went out into the balcony to ask to see if anything was there. While he was out there, through the headphones again, there was laughter. You could hear laughter in the headphones. Now everybody, there was 6 of us here, and just so you know, we were social distancing. We all heard it in the headphones, and we couldn't work out. We were talking about this last week, weren't we?
Yeah.
We couldn't work out why it wasn't picked up on the audio. And what it was is the phones, the microphones, what we're using now are called condensed microphones. So it's only if you're right next to them, it'll pick up your voice. If you move away from the microphones, it sounds like you're like 10 miles away. So it didn't pick up. Yeah, the dog agrees with me anyway. And so we found that we've got an experiment coming up soon with you'll find that out when I think it's on this show, isn't it? I'm not sure. No, it's not. It's next week's show, isn't it?
Next week.
Yeah. I get all confused of where we are,
Yeah. Yeah, next week's show.
So we're going to try an experiment, because we found out if we'd have had a microphone, we would have picked it up, another type of microphone. So we're going to try a different microphone in the studio next week. We're going to carry on with the condensed ones, but we're going to have another one on, see if anything picks up on it. It's worth it, isn't it? It's worth a try. What's that noise?
Well, oh, you can hear that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jennifer's cell phone's going off.
No,
it's her birthday today.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it?
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh,
so people are blowing up her phone.
We feel more privileged now because we know it's your birthday and you've took the time to actually come on our show. So happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Jonathan would sing it, because I can't sing, but Jonathan would sing it. That's like
all right.
No, you are you going to sing it?
He's going to sing. Aww.
Yeah. Come on, Jonathan.
Or not.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, that's all you got. You listen.
Aww, thank you.
You really wouldn't want any more, because you'd just switch off. I've heard them singing. Seriously, you really don't want any more.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, going back to the paranormal, which we should be on, Jonathan, we get distracted so easily in this one. If you ever come over here, Mill Street Barracks is a must, and that's for anybody. It's a must. You do get quite a lot of we do get quite a lot of activity in this building, don't we? We've had so much recently.
Yeah. I think it is, with no one coming into the building for such a long time.
That makes sense.
That, I suppose, in a way, they're bored, and they've got no one. They're not seeing anybody, are they?
No, well,
no one's asking out for them.
No, we've noticed that, though, haven't we? That when we're here, me and Jonathan, if we go down into the cellar or anything like that, we seem to get some kind of activity.
Yeah.
And we've also found that when a lot of paranormal groups are coming in, the activity drops off.
Yeah.
And I suppose if you think about it, Jill and Jennifer, if you've got people coming into your house day in, day out, you're not going to entertain. You're going to go, oh God, give us some peace, for God's sake, Whereas if you're not getting anybody, especially in this lockdown, they may not understand what's going on. Why we can't come into the building. Maybe now we're coming back in. They're going, oh, there's someone here. Let's go and see who it is. And that's how I think the way. Yeah. Because there's still a person. There's still an individual, even though they're not on this plane anymore. They're on another plane. They must still have them kind of personalities.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you ever experienced something following you guys? How do you clear the air or the space, or make sure that things don't follow you after you either leave the studio or an investigation?
Have you had anything like that, Jonathan?
I don't know. I've not had anything myself. When we do investigations, we usually have our medium, Liz. She usually opens up and closes at the end of the investigation.
Sorry, go
on. But as far as us coming into the studio, we don't really do anything, to be honest. We're not.
No, we sometimes feel as if we're being followed in the building.
In the building, we do, yeah.
We feel like we're being watched sometimes, like somebody's there. And it's the bouncer, aren't they? They're having a nose at what we're doing, and we're going looking for them. They're bound to come looking for us, aren't they? But I think the scariest one I had was a few years back. Now, my partner Marie, we went to this house. I can't say whose name it is or anything like that. And they were having issues, and we got somebody in to stop it all, because it was causing a few little issues, and it was scaring them and that. So we got somebody in to stop it. Now, at that time, I was living in Huyton, and I was driving. After we'd done all that and everything had finished, I got in my car and I was going home. And part of the way home, I had this awful feeling there was something in the car with me, and to the point that I got quite scared. I knew there was something in the car, and I felt it. The atmosphere was different, and I just had to pluck up the courage and turn around and say, "Get out! I don't want you here." etc., etc. You know, and I got angry with it and said, "How dare you get into my car?" And after that, nothing happened. I've never had the feeling since, and I really don't want to have that feeling again. It was the most frightening thing to happen, because when you're driving in a car, you don't want that, because you don't know what it's up to. And I felt like it was trying to latch on and follow me. Once I'd done that, whether it's because I was angry with it or because I actually, you know, turned on it and got to the plucked up the courage to say something, it backed away completely. And I've never had it since. Never felt scared in the car. When I leave here, when we've done the stuff here, get in the car and I don't think twice. I don't think anything follows us. I think we respect them and they respect us.
Yeah.
Something followed us home after one of our investigations. Yeah.
Right. I didn't like it.
No, it was scary. I was talking about Rome City, Indiana, and feeling that feeling of wanting to run away, and then afterwards finding out that a nun who had stayed in that very building was attacked by an evil spirit. After that afternoon investigating that location, Jill and I went back to her house near Battle Creek, Michigan, and we started recording a different episode, not the episode that we had just investigated, but one that we had investigated previously.
Yeah.
And so we were looking across the table at each other, and we have our gear on and we have our outline and we're recording, and we start fighting.
Oh, right.
I wouldn't call it fighting. Jennifer just started being mean to me. That's what happened.
That's not what happened.
That's a family thing.
I was like, what is your problem?
Jill started getting really aggressive.
Don't believe it.
And the funny thing was, we started to get testy with each other, but over nothing. Like, nothing happened.
We were agreeing with each other, but like angry.
Yeah,
we were like, fine.
So we were just getting angrier, and it was almost like I was getting ready to just say, you know what, forget it. Like, let's just not do this right now because you are being impossible. And then she stops and she looks at me, and we looked at each other after moments of this weird tension where we're just really angry with each other. She stops and she goes, do you know what's happening right now? And I go, yeah, you're being I know exactly what's happening. And she goes, no, this isn't us. And then as soon as she said that, it was like, this.
It was almost like we understood each other again for the first time.
So then we started talking to it because it wanted to stop us from working together. And we started saying, we're going to do this. We're going to record this episode, and we're going to work together, and you can't stop us. And I think we started drinking wine.
Yes, we did.
That helped. And then we finished recording, and at that point, Jill got up and went to the kitchen, and I stood up for more wine. I stood up and I walked across the room to the bathroom door, but I didn't walk in because as soon as I got to the threshold of the room, I got really, really dizzy. So dizzy, I had to hold on to the door frame, and I felt, and I've had dizzy spells before. Like, I know what that feels like. But I had stood up, walked clear across the room, I got dizzy, and then on the backs of my knees, it felt like someone was hitting the backs of my knees. So my knees were like almost giving out.
Wow.
If you can imagine that sensation. Yeah. So I held on to the door frame for about a minute. It felt like a really long time, but I think it was about a minute.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and I walked back into the kitchen, and Jill was standing at the counter. And I said, you're not going to believe this, but I think I just got really, really dizzy over there. And Jill said,
I know, me too. And it feels like my legs are giving out.
So she was experiencing the same exact sensation in a different part of the house than I was. And that's when we knew that it was physically messing with us. So that's when we got the big guns out, the prayer of St. Michael. We called on all our angels, and we did some heavy duty praying for about a day after that. And then it felt like it wasn't around anymore. But We still don't end things well, though.
I know we don't.
We don't close things off.
We need to be more
disciplined.
Yeah.
Do you find that together, because you're sisters, are you twin? No, you can't be twins. Only one is your birthday today, isn't it?
No.
So, yeah. So.
Although she is looking more and more like me, and I find it very annoying. Stop it. It's true.
I'll let you into secrets. Sisters do look at together like each other. I'm a twin, so.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm a twin.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you have the twin telepathy? Is that right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Talking about when we were younger, my brother used to have fits, and I knew when they were coming on beforehand. The other thing was as well is if there was something, even if it wasn't anywhere near him, I knew there was something. I knew something was wrong beforehand. And even if my mum and dad would ring me, they'd say, "Oh, Jamie, do you want to come home? We needed to come home for a bit." And I knew it was either my brother had a fit, or sometimes things had happened, and I knew before I got there. I knew before they'd even ring me that I was going to get the call to say. So yeah, I think you have that kind of telepathy. But I think as life comes, you get older and life becomes a bit more hectic. That connection tends to fade away. I think when you're kids and when you're living in the same house and things like that, you know each other. You're living with each other. And me being a twin, I knew things were going to happen beforehand. I used to know quite often when his fits were coming on. And things like that. And the funny thing is, there's twins, like I'm a twin, my nephews were twins, and they're the same. They knew things. My sister-in-law's a twin. There was just twins everywhere. I think it was like, I don't know what it was. I think it was in the blood. So yeah, going back to that question, yes, I think we could pick up on things. And that was the long-winded.
Very cool.
That was the long-winded way of telling you.
No, that's very cool.
But as sisters, when you go out together in the daytime, ghost hunting, right? Do you, as you're working together, do you tend to like protect each other? Because you've got that connection together as well. Do you tend to protect each other, or? Does that not happen, if you understand what I mean?
So Jennifer doesn't let me cross the street a lot. Like I'm like 40, okay, and she'll put her hand out and be like, "Look over these," and I'm like,
That is true.
Yeah.
Because I've always been your older sister, so I'm always watching out for you.
And I think I look out for you too, but in a different way. Like if I feel like Jennifer's in danger, then I get all like bared out like a mama bear, and then I like be like roar and protect her, like unproportionate to whatever. Like if someone cut in front of her in line, then I would be like rolling up my sleeves,
Yeah,
but
Jill gets really aggressive. Really.
Do you know what? I can relate to that because my nephew, Chris, when he was younger, I mean, I used to take him all these places and that. And there's one day, and I can still remember, I can't remember, it was quite a few years ago now. I'd say he was about 19 or 20 at the time, and we got to the side of the road. Now, his road is a busy road, And as we both went to walk across the road, I went to grab his hand, and he went, "Jamie, I'm 20 years old now, But it was an automatic thing. It was just an automatic thing. Your protection comes in. But I still remember it from that day to this, how I went to grab his hand to cross the road, And he was tall. Well, he was probably the same size as me, but it was just an automatic. Because I've got two sons, I mean, they're what? How old are my sons now? 28 and 24. And if I'd done that to them now, I think they'd disown me. But,
well,
yeah.
I'm bigger than Jennifer, so that even makes it more fun. Like, I am 6 feet tall. Like, so, like, for her to protect, like, to hold me back, or, like, it's like I'm a big, giant baby to her. Seriously.
Well, you act like a baby sometimes.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I'm constantly trying to keep Jill from trespassing. Like, that is my job on
these
the
two are starting here, Jamie.
I know, yeah.
Domestic. There's going to be a fight in a
domestic,
minute.
yeah.
Sometimes it's necessary, right?
Yeah, hold on. To all our listeners, we do apologise if there's any kind of fights. So, what kind of places do you like going to? Do you like going to? You mentioned you like going to graveyards before, and would you like to do an asylum? Or I mean, I know you said you wanted to come to the UK. What kind of places would you like to investigate in the daylight? I know.
Asylum would be crazy heavy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think we look. Well, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Places with a lot of energy. So any kind of like asylum or
a prison,
battlegrounds,
wow.
Historic sites where something pivotal happened, those kind of things. Yeah.
You know, sometimes even randomly when Jennifer and I were on vacation together, like the most mundane place. Remember that little hotel in New Mexico was packed with energy, and so even like we do have our wish list, like where we want to go, but those little places don't discount. Like there is literally stories and ghosts everywhere looking to be heard.
And I think what makes us a little different is that we're kind of the anti-ghost hunters because we are afraid. Because we're afraid. And we only go out in daylight, but also because we don't go to places where we know there are ghosts, right? We're asking spirits to lead us someplace where maybe people don't realize that there is a spirit that's not at rest. And so in that regard, that makes us a little different.
But I still want to go ghost hunting with you guys.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's happening.
You do know we go ghost hunting over night time.
We trust you.
I feel safe. We'll pack
and we also get scared too.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah. But don't forget, my partner Marie comes with me, and we always have somebody else with us. If we go ghost hunting, we always have a few of us. But obviously, because of the radio show, just me and Jonathan go because we're only around the corner. But yeah, you'll love coming with us because there's, we all make you welcome. We would, you'd end up like part of the team because. We always make everybody as welcome as they possibly can.
That's right. It's good.
So.
Thank you. I'm excited. I can't wait for Americans to be allowed back in England.
No, I mean
because of COVID.
Yeah, that's COVID. It's an absolute nightmare, Yeah. But we've just got to keep going. We just got to keep positive and keep, pushing forward. I think it's coming to the end now.
I agree.
Hopefully. The world will go back to normality. We'll all be able to not wear face masks. We'll all be able to get close to each other instead of 13 foot apart or 2 meters apart, whatever you want to call it, The thing is, the last year now, all I know is people with masks on. If they take the masks off, I wouldn't even know who they were. And that's what it's like at the moment. It's not normal. It's sad. As long as everyone's safe, that's the most important thing.
What's awkward about the mask is that people think they know you, and then you're like, no, it's not me. Like, that's happened to me a lot. Like, they're like, hey, and I'm like, I don't know you. Like, who you think I am? I'm not that person.
Do you know what? I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah. Who are you, Jamie?
I don't know. I don't even know myself now.
No.
I haven't got a clue. But mine's just called dementia.
Yeah.
So... Going back to the paranormal stuff, where's the most frightening location you've been to?
Just in life or on our investigations?
On investigations. There's that many, is there?
Yeah, I think frightening for different reasons. I think Seneca, Illinois is where Jen and I were at. The whole town seemed like haunted and really under some kind of dark energy. Like random weird incidences happened in this town one after another. It's like this little town that just keeps getting like plagued.
Right.
Yeah, there was Seneca, Illinois was actually where Jill and I realized that what we were doing we could actually make into a semi-entertaining podcast. It was that location where we didn't do a podcast about it, but that's where the epiphany came, like, oh my gosh, this is actually something that could be entertaining. But to your point, Jill, I think that was the site of a slaughter.
There was a slaughter, there was a car accident, there was a fire, like this whole town. We were in the graveyard in the town and we realized that there was a lot of people that had untimely deaths, like a very young, like over and over, the young gravestones and dates on it. And so we were picking up on these different feelings as we were going through the town. We went from the mill to the antique shop to the graveyard. And we just knew, we pulled out our phones and we're like, there is something happening here.
Something's wrong here.
And so we Googled Seneca, Illinois tragedy, and like one thing after another came up. And I was like, well, what if I did that to any other town? So then I started Googling like Forest Park, Illinois tragedy, and it was nothing like it. So it's just this little area in Illinois that just has this, like I said, like it's almost plagued to have disasters happen one after another.
I think too, we pick up on negative energy sometimes, like when we were in, what was that, where's Mrs. Stock's Park?
Oh, Hillsdale,
Indiana?
No, Michigan.
Hillsdale, Michigan. We were in Hillsdale, Michigan, and we stumbled upon Stock's Park. And interesting enough, in the car, I was hearing in my mind, purple petunias, purple petunias, purple petunias. And Jill was driving, and I kept telling her what I was hearing, and we didn't know where we were going. I was just saying, make a right, make a left. Well, we get to this little town, Hillsdale, Michigan, and we're driving through, and I notice that on every block, the entire downtown area has huge baskets of purple petunia flowers. So I said, pull over. This is where we need to be.
We saw the sign.
Stock's Park.
Yes, Stock's Park.
So we go to Stock's Park, and there is an outdoor kiosk area. It's a historic park, I don't know, 100 years old or so. And the Stocks were a prominent family, and the local municipality put up different plaques and different information about the family, the Stock family. And Jill and I went into this little kiosk and started looking at the photographs, and immediately we started feeling negative energy, like something really, really bad and hush hush. It was very hush hush.
When we looked at these men's pictures that are in the kiosk, immediately you felt cruelty. You felt enjoying being cruel to people.
Sadism.
Yes. So that was
scary.
That was scary.
We were both very scared.
We kind of walked in and then walked out right away. Right. We're like, oh, we're done here.
We couldn't be in that space.
And what's weird about it, if you think about, these are the pictures that this historical society put together purposely to display at this park, which is like,
they're the creepiest
Why
pictures.
would you pick these pictures?
These are terrible pictures. Anyway, so I mean, that would be an example. It wasn't the place that was scary. It was the energy that was coming through.
It was almost like they were trying to intimidate us from looking into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've got to go soon, but what I've got to ask you is, if you came to the UK, have you got a particular location you want to go to, or would you rather just turn up in the UK and just look for a location?
I would do both.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually, well, as you know, I was in Liverpool, but I was also in York for a night, and I would love to go back to York. I think there's a lot in York, but I'm completely open.
So we have to go to York. I have to go to Liverpool.
We have to see London while you're there.
Oh, absolutely. But also, I would love to do an adventure where we don't know where we end up and just use our spidey senses to pick up on the energy that's around us.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Well, I mean, you've mentioned York there. That's one of my favourite places of all. I've never done an investigation up there or anything like that. But me and my partner Marie, we went over to York when we spent, a couple of nights there. And we kept saying, got to do a ghost hunt up here. Got to come up here for an investigation. And strangely enough, we had a little bit of a break in the lockdown, and we booked a caravan up in a place near Whitby. And we said, we'll go into Whitby, we'll do a ghost hunt to Whitby, because that's where Bram Stoker started his Dracula stuff. That's where it all came from, was Whitby, on the beach there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Very
if you
cool.
ever get the chance, go to Whitby. It's a beautiful place. Anyway, the night we decided to go up there and do this investigation for the show, the heavens opened, it rained, it was stormy, so we couldn't do it. So on the way back home, we decided to go to a place called Gothland, and over here we got a TV show, or we used to have a TV show called Heartbeat. And so we went there, and it's a beautiful historical little town, little village, incredible place. And we decided to go into the graveyard there, and we did a little mini investigation there as well. And if you go on, we'll go, if you go on YouTube onto this, the station's Access Paranormal Radio podcast. If you go onto the YouTube, that will be put up there as well, because all our shows are going on there. Now, Jill and Jennifer, before you go, is there any way, have you got any, you do your own podcasting and everything else, whereabouts would you get the podcast to listen to it?
You can get the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and pretty much anywhere you're getting your pod. So even Amazon has it.
We also post it on Facebook at Common Mystics, and we have a website, commonmystics.net.
So that's COMMON Mystics.
What's that?
How do you spell it? Is it Common Mystics, MYSTICS?
Exactly, yes.
Right, Common Mystics. And it's USA. It's all right, I'm writing it down so I can find it myself.
Yay! Thank you guys so much.
I've listened to a few, but they're really good.
And have you got it on YouTube as well?
No, but our sister Jessica keeps hounding us to put it on YouTube. So we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
It's not too bad at all. So if you go on our one, what we've recorded now, that will go onto YouTube in the end. We'll your picture will be up there and everything else. Highly advise you to use YouTube. It's really good.
Yeah.
And your YouTube channel is actually on downstairs in Jennifer's house.
Yeah, we were just listening to it a little bit today.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. I'm surprised that you listened to us. One last question.
We like the accent.
Yeah. Well, you said it sounded like one of the Beatles. So.
Yeah, exactly. Say, what about the band, Paul?
What about the what?
What about the band, Paul?
What's that from?
From John Lennon said it to Paul McCartney when they were fighting. So anyway.
Oh, I don't know that.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're telling me something, and I'm from Liverpool.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And we've got one. Just before we go, we've got one last question to you both. Will you ever do a paranormal investigation of a night time?
Yes,
we will.
But in England with you guys.
That's fine. Yep, and you'll meet you'll meet our groups and our friends and everything else.
Yeah.
So
we are. That sounds great. We're excited for this.
You guys are so gracious. Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
So much fun.
We've loved it. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to have you on.
And you've got to come back on again.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
You're most welcome. So a big thank you to Jennifer and Jill, Common Mystics.
From America.
All the way from Michigan and Chicago.
Very good.
You got it.
I'm glad he did, because I forgot it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much again for coming on and giving us the time to, giving us, well, especially on, is it Jill's birthday there?
Yeah.
So, what a great night, a birthday girl as well.
I know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have
You're
a
welcome.
good evening.
And you too. Thank
And
you
you
so much
too.
for coming on. Thank you.
Oh, thanks
Be
a lot.
safe.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Common Mystics. Jill and Jennifer.
Yeah.
All the way over there from America. Well, how nice were they?
Lovely, weren't they?
And like I said at the beginning, they bounced off each other superbly. They seem to have gelled well together. And you can tell they're very, very close, can't you?
You can. You can.
But the funniest thing was, with it being Jill's birthday as well.
Yeah.
What did I do to you, Jonathan, eh?
Yeah.
What did you do?
You weren't there, were you?
No.
Because it was Jill's birthday, I said to him, "You want to sing happy birthday?"
You did. Yeah. Did you do it, Jonathan?
It is a bit, yeah.
He did a little bit. Didn't you hear it? Oh,
it's being rude not to, wouldn't it?
Of course it would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been better if you didn't. I heard you singing, and you know what? Thankfully, it didn't ruin a birthday.
Well,
I know, yeah. He should have seen
you
his.
know what?
But he should have seen his face. He wanted to kill me.
You really
Payback.
wanted to sing it, though,
Hey?
didn't you?
Payback. Andrew, you did get a little bit of payback during that interview.
When was that?
During the interview.
Oh, what happened?
I can't remember.
Do you want to tell everyone where they had the little bang?
Oh.
What?
The plug.
Oh, what have you done?
Go on, Jonathan. I know you're dying to tell him. This is payback, isn't it?
Yeah, do tell.
It is, isn't it? Well, during that interview, Jamie was taking the plug out
Of the heater.
of the heater. She
Right.
didn't realise that the plug was red hot.
Yeah. What?
And consequently dropped the plug on the floor.
They might have heard that actually on
Probably
the
did.
show, yeah. Yeah. He went boom, 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 boom.
Was it rather hot then, Jamie?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. But going back to the girls anyway.
Yeah, change the
They
subject
were,
quick.
yeah, I've got to. They were really good.
Yeah.
You know, and the funny thing was, Jonathan, if you noticed, when I said to them about the investigations, they don't go in investigations in the dark.
No, everything's in the daytime, isn't
Everything,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we said, well, when you come over here and do an investigation with us,
Yeah.
it's going to be in the dark.
I know.
Simple as that.
Too scared.
I know.
How funny.
I know. But they were still nice people. They were
Yeah.
genuinely nice people. Only
They
because
were.
they invited us over to go over there and stay with their husband and
Yeah.
her, didn't they? Hey,
Yeah.
we were like, okay.
Yeah, brilliant.
So
Absolutely
don't
brilliant.
forget, Jennifer, Jill, we
Mhm.
remember that.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
when all this is over, this lockdown things, you're going to regret saying that. But they were
Well,
good.
Yeah,
And-
and wasn't it funny though, that when they explained what they did, that it was exactly the same, or very similar to Randonautica.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's not made out in that way. It's just how they do what they do.
They just drive along,
Yeah.
and wherever the car takes them,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
They just go and do an investigation. If they feel you need to go that way, they go that way.
That's right.
In fact, I think that's a bit better than Random Nautica
It is,
because
yeah, it is.
Random Nautica, you don't know what you're going to go
Yeah.
into. The good thing is with them two is if they don't want to stay, they can just keep going.
Yeah. That's
You know,
right.
there's no challenge to it. It's just the way
Yeah.
they work.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they like graveyards as well.
They do, don't they?
Because we had Teddy Crozier on the other week, and he liked the graveyards.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's a couple of people we've had now who like going to the graveyard.
Yeah.
So I'm to be honest with you, we've done a couple of them, you know, for investigations
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I like them. I like it. I think it's a good
Actually,
idea too.
It doesn't bother me going into a graveyard.
No, it doesn't bother
Funnily
me
enough.
neither. In fact, we went with Axiom Paranormal to the graveyard, and Marie was there. And the funny thing was, they said to me, "Well, we're looking for the." I said, "Yeah, I'll take you to this place. I know this place where you can do a little bit of a call out." No, they said, "Okay, then we'll follow you, Jamie." So I'm walking along in front of them all, yapping away, you know the way I do, blah 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 blah. I talk rubbish, but you know, I can do because nobody listens anyway. So I was walking along and I was chatting away there, and I was going for about 5 minutes. I thought, "These are too quiet," you know. I thought, "I'll let them do some call outs in a minute." They weren't there.
Really?
they'd gone the other way. But they didn't tell me they were going the other way. They'd gone off the direction. I'd walked all the way through the graveyard, and I'm talking 5-minute walk away from them.
On your own?
On my own.
On his own.
Thinking they were behind.
And you know what Jamie's like on his own for anything like that.
Thinking they were behind me, and I turned around to say something. Where are they? I don't even know who they are. Well, because they were filming what they wanted to film.
Oh dear.
I thought, I'm not going to find them, but thankfully they had the film light, the lights on.
Yeah.
While they were filming. So I knew where they were.
Oh my word.
But it wasn't just the thoughts, oh, there they are, I'll walk back to them. It was the thoughts of, I've got to go through all these little pathways now, through these graves, through the trees, and keep
knowing
walking.
That you was on your own.
Knowing I was on my own, right the way to the other end. And when I get there, I said, what happened? And he said, well, we wondered where you were going. We could just see you walking along, chatting away to yourself. I said, I wasn't chatting away to myself. I was chatting to you lot. Talking about, like, a bit of the history and a bit of this. And I said, and turned around, I was on my own.
Just shows how much people take any notice.
Well, you done it to me here. I'm walking down the cellar. Turned round. I'm on my own. I'm starting to get this like bit of a bit of a worry, that people are just trying to leave me on my own all the time.
We're trying to make you stronger, Jamie.
Yeah. I've done that where I've walked along and I'm talking to Marie and she stops at the shop to look at something, and I'm walking along talking away. I turn around and where's Marie gone?
Yeah, but I'm the same because I expect you to come over and I'm talking to the person next to me thinking it's you.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it someone's hand you went to hold or
I did.
something? Yeah, and it wasn't me. Why do we always go off the cuff? We're talking about the paranormal. We were talking about common mystics.
Yeah.
All that just because we were talking about common mystics. Yeah. So, but do you know what? They were great, and that's why we left the whole show on, because they were so entertaining and so cheerful. The only thing what annoyed me is the weather.
I know.
They get some great weather. What do we get?
I know.
The usual. We said it earlier on.
4 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, just about. Do we still get 4 seasons now?
I don't know. We're in lockdown. We only get 1 season. That's it. Gone.
Yeah.
I think we still only had 1 season anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Lockdown season.
Yeah. Rain.
But what we're going to do is, just so listeners know, is 3 of us are going to do a little mini invest soon, aren't we?
We are.
For next week's show.
Yeah.
So that should be quite good fun. And we've got the CCTV still on. Well, I thought we still had we've got the CCTV on. I started messing around with it before, didn't I? And I made a mess of it, yeah. So but just before we go off the common mystics, go and listen to this. Go and listen to them on YouTube. Not YouTube. Go and listen to their podcasts because they're brilliant.
Yeah.
We mentioned it earlier on. We've got to mention it again. Jennifer and Jill, they're brilliant. Yeah. They work together well. I've listened to quite a few of their interviews now, and they were great.
Brilliant.
They're only half-an-hour shows.
Yeah.
But highly recommend them.
Really good.
Yeah, you can get them. What is it? Google's podcast.
Yeah,
Apple. I don't know. Banana. There's just that many of them, isn't there?
Yeah.
But you can easily find them. Just look for Common Mystics.
Yeah.
Jill and Jennifer.
That's right.
Brilliant.
And if you put Jessica in, you might even find that.
You'll see your weak life.
I know, but do you know what? Thank you so much for them two for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now I'm going to change the subject a little bit because we're colleague of mine, Penelope Kelly.
Yeah.
She's doing something which I think is incredible, and it's something that there's no way I'd do. Not that I've got much later.
Well, you couldn't do it, Jamie. Come on.
Well, I've got some hair. I haven't had a haircut for what 10, 11 weeks now because of this lockdown. But she's actually calling it's called Penelope's Brave the Shave, and what she's doing, she's going to shave all her hair off. And now Penelope's hair is that long. Seriously, it goes past the bottom. Yeah. That's how long it is.
Wow, brave
and
girl.
It's lovely hair. It's absolutely fantastic hair.
Yeah. I'm going to ask her something for you, Jamie.
But no, on a serious note though, she's raising funds for the Pancreas Cancer Research Fund.
Fabulous.
And it's something that's close to her heart because of things in her personal life. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask the listeners out there to please just go to her Just Giving page and donate something. Even doesn't matter how much you give, just donate something. And it's called, just go to Just Giving, Penelope's Brave the Shave. And as I said, it's for the Pancreatic Cancer Research Fund. And help her, give her support. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. It'd be a shame to see her shaving her hair off, but I can understand why. And she's going to donate the hair as well to, because they have wigs made.
They do have wigs made.
If I remember rightly, she's doing it for children, the hair,
Oh, yeah.
So, do you know what?
Well done, Penelope.
I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think she's superb. So I'm going to give it out one more time. So go to Just Giving, Penelope's Brave the Shave, and raising funds for the Pancreatic Cancer Research Fund, and please donate something. Just do it for us, please. And I think
it's a pound, isn't it? Because they all add up.
Yeah. And when we get the chance, what we're going to do is I'm going to try and get the staff of Complete Training Solutions to come on a ghost hunt with us. All donate some money and give it to Penelope for the funds. Because what she's trying to raise is £5,000. Once she gets the £5,000, she's going to shave her hair off.
Brilliant.
Wow.
So, what an incredible lady.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's summer.
You know what?
Because you feel the cold after having so much hair.
Oh, I know. But what a fantastic thing to do. And I've got to say,
besides the jokes, that is fantastic.
It is, yeah. So, it's Just Giving, Penelope's Brave the Shave, and donate. That's all we're asking you to do is donate. Because it's an incredible thing to do.
Yeah.
And do you know what? We're going to finish on that because I think that's where we need to finish it because there's not more to say after that, is there?
No.
So what I've got to say is we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Same time, same place, same silly jokes.
Yeah.
But we love it.
We do.
And we love doing it because of you listening. So what I'm going to say is please stay safe. Stay at home if you can, because soon we'll be out of that little bit of freedom, and we'll see you all next week. So, good night from me, good night from Jonathan, and good night from Marie.
Good night.
See you next week.